I'm Joan Epler. Welcome to Good Thoughts Podcast. Please join with Dr. Gary Epler, who discovered the Eplerian life philosophy. Today, we're going to apply this to living in the mind.
I'm Dr. Gary Epler. Live in the mind for an extraordinary life filled with high energy, peak performance, and enduring joy.
What do you mean, live in the mind?
Living in the mind means thinking from the mind. Instead of thinking from that primitive brain with limited and negative thoughts all day, think from the mind with unlimited positive thoughts, creativity, and joy. Think from the mind and live in the mind.
How do you think from the mind?
Slow down the brain waves. We can think from the mind because the human brain has a region called the prefrontal lobe cortex. It's above the eyebrows and is the most advanced brain on the planet. When the brain waves are slowed down, the prefrontal lobe can connect with the mind. The mind is the universe, filled with unlimited information and knowledge about the past, present, and future. To achieve maximal function, this region needs to be in good health.
How do you keep the prefrontal lobe healthy?
3 fundamental health habits: eat, sleep, and exercise. Keep this advanced brain region healthy with 8 hours of sleep every night. 2 of these hours are for recharging the frontal lobe and a healthy nutrition lifestyle. And finally, 1 hour of exercise every day.
How does the prefrontal lobe connect with the mind?
The brain waves need to be slowed down. Everyone knows this feeling because it's daydreaming. That's the feeling of being in the mind. And you don't have to stare out the window during grade school. You can do this wide awake, full of energy, and feeling great.
What are other ways to slow down the brain waves?
Meditation is a good way to learn the feeling of being in the mind and then learn to be in the mind spontaneously. Other ways to slow down the brain waves include a 12-minute walk, yoga breathing, soothing music, and binaural beats, which occur when listening with earphones to 2 different sound frequencies at once.
Can people create their own way of slowing down the brain waves?
Oh, that's the best. Create your own technique to be in the mind. I'll give you an example. Recently, thoughts were swirling around in my head, taken away from enjoying the moment. So I went for a run on the beach in Falmouth, Cape Cod. I looked at the eastern horizon as a sliver of morning sun began the day. The sky was deep blue. The beautiful North Atlantic Ocean sparkled in the wintry air, and the seagulls were making their morning rounds and followed me during my run. Those swirling negative thoughts vanished instantly. I was enjoying life in the mind, full of energy and feeling great. It's like taking a walk in the woods.
You realized you can live in the mind. Does it last?
That's the exciting surprise. The feeling lasted all day. I had no negative thoughts from the primitive brain because none of these negative thoughts and feelings can occur when you're in the mind. Primitive brain thoughts require a higher brain frequency. Live in the mind with good thoughts.
Does this mean you can live in the mind at home, work, and in public?
Yes, it does. You can be in the mind with peak performance and feeling great. In the past, I always thought you had to sit in silence and meditate to enjoy the feeling of living in the mind. But it's the opposite. You don't have to be a hermit living in a cave or a monk in a faraway monastery. You can be in the middle of a roaring city, a quiet suburb, or living on a farm and feel the profound knowledge and joy of being in the mind.
What's the function of the mind?
The function is creativity and innovation. That's where solutions to problems at home and work come from. That's where innovative ideas and new companies come from. It's brainstorming, where the brain is quiet, and ideas come from the mind. Thinking from the head is too limited to solve problems. Use the mind to develop groundbreaking ideas and companies to improve the world.
What are the feelings while in the mind?
In the mind, you experience positive feelings at an inspirational level beyond your daily life. Serene calmness to the level of DNA calm. Total acceptance and belonging with no criticism and no judgment. And the feeling of unconditional love and joy. Courage to be your true, authentic self. Inspiration with feeling of success and accomplishment and attention come from the mind. Discipline, persistence, and endurance come from the mind and not from the head. Live in the mind for the feelings of joy and success.
Live in the mind for an enjoyable life, moment by moment. Do you have any closing comments?
Live in the mind for living an extraordinary life, brimming with high energy, peak performance, maximal creativity, and enduring joy.
This is Joan Epler and Dr. Gary Epler, closing this Good Thoughts podcast. Best wishes for good health and a great day.